Score Vision writes, which one of you Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur, whatever the hell it is, Charmander, or the Squirtle? The Pokemons, I guess that's what it is. I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to say? Charmander. That's who I would take because it reminds me of me because of the forehead. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay? At Randy underscore Vision writes, which
Hey, y'all, gravity, any day above ground living. Good morning to the room. Good morning to everybody. Hope all you doing well. It is Friday, last Friday of the month. So you know what that means. Brother Torian later will be doing his Freestyle Friday. So hopefully y'all will patronize that. But we got to talk about this. Clay Travis, this newest passenger on the DEI train. This whole subject matter is going to spin these conservatives into a sort of Walking Dead Alexandria situation, meaning they're going to be isolated from the rest of society. And I know they'll tell you that that's a good thing because they have the capabilities to sustain themselves. Well, yeah, you ain't going to be able to barter. But we're going to leave that there. But before we start, we have some breaking news coming out of the International Court of Justice regarding Israel and this Hamas situation. So we're going to play that for you, and then we're going to get into it. So let's see who's in the building. Wallow J, good morning. And Jerry Bedford, good morning. For those who haven't said anything, hopefully you will join later. But let's look at this International Court Justice ruling in regards to what South Africa put forward in regards to what Israel has been doing.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
At the stage of making an order on the request for an indication of provisional measures, the court's task is to establish whether the acts and omissions complained of by the applicant appear to be capable of falling within the provisions of the Genocide Convention. In the court's view, at least some of the acts and omissions alleged by South Africa to have been committed by Israel in Gaza appear to be capable of falling within the provisions of the convention. In light of the following, the court concludes that prima facie, it has jurisdiction pursuant to Article 9 of the convention to entertain the case. Given this conclusion, the court considers that it cannot accede to Israel's request that the case be removed from the general list.
Okay, so you heard that. So basically what they're saying is per South Africa's, I guess, what do they call it? Affidavit, request, resolution. Yeah, y'all's Israel has been told you have to do everything in your power to stop this conflict. Not to not defend yourselves, but to stop this conflict. And they're going to be watching you. And if you don't conform, yeah, they're going to come see you. They're going to recommend the UN put sanctions on you, and you and your leaders might be going up in front of the Hague. But we'll see how that goes. But that's not what y'all came to talk about. Y'all came to talk about the butthurt conservative.
You know, let me go here. There's I'm gonna move on. There's a growing concern in
Tabernacle. Oh boy. This is Clay Travis. They say that he is a rising star in the MAGA movement. Okay. Well, let's just preface this before we go. Kind of like what I do with when I say old man Biden's name, and then I'd be like, shit. I said his name, and a certain clip goes up.
Insult to my existence.
We're not going to be biased here. So going forward, whenever I mention MAGA, there will be a clip that is going to be played.
To join this MAGA train, baby. Choo choo! Choo!
There you go. So, yes. Clay Travis. Now, he used to own Outkick. They got bought out by Fox Sports. You know, old Fatlock used to work for him, and then they fell out. But it is what it is. Now he's a political commentator. He has a political podcast all of a sudden now for 2024. All right. Have fun. Anyway, he decided to lament a certain coaching hire that occurred yesterday down here in Atlanta. And that is the Atlanta Falcons have hired a new head coach. Now, it was bandied about that Bill Belichick was going to get the job after his stint in New England. He had 2 interviews. They interviewed other candidates, but they ultimately went with Raheem Morris, who used to be with the Falcons, including their failed run to win a Super Bowl when they fucked around and gave up 28-3. But they said he's the future, and we're going to take him, and we like what we saw and heard. Clay Travis didn't like that, and his buddy Matt Walsh didn't like it either. But we're going to start with Clay because he's the subject of this show. I want you to hear what Clay says in regards to this hire. And once again, this is high IQ telling us everything but saying nothing. Fair use.
He has been arrested. And why I believe all of the data reflects that the 2024 election is likely to be decided by college-educated suburban women voters. And what I think Trump should do, I will continue to expand on this, even though Twitter gets fired up about it, which I love.
Okay, real quick before he gets into that. What he just said, excuse me, partly true, but mostly false. They're going to find out in about 9 months. A certain electorate you like to talk shit about is going to decide this election, and y'all not going to like it. If y'all don't get y'all act together, you know, how y'all like to say, if they stay home, that's a loss for Biden. Yeah, if we stay home, that's going to be a loss for your man too. Because you got to remember, we can still talk online. Best believe if your man don't move correctly, he's going to join old Biden. They're both going to lose. You're going to see one of the worst election turnouts in history. Keep playing with us, but you know, you want to keep it color. Keep a pin in what I just said. Go ahead, Clay.
Nothing really shows me how much you care better than sharing my content as widely as you possibly can. All right, so let's start with the Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I think it's good. Look, really good quarterback takes a team from bad to mediocre to good. Really good quarterback like Justin Herbert has taken the San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers, from bad, mediocre to good. That's the leap that a strong quarterback makes for a franchise. A franchise wins a Super Bowl by going good to great. Oftentimes, the difference between good to great for a franchise is the head coaching hire. I think Jim Harbaugh has the potential to take the LA Chargers with Justin Herbert as their quarterback from good to great. They're in a tough division, the AFC West. They've already got to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. We don't know what the Broncos are going to do. We don't really know what the Raiders are going to do. Those franchises are in a state of uncertainty right now in general, especially at the quarterback position, but also with relatively new coaches. Antonio Pierce going to be a first-year guy, and Sean Payton, second-year guy with the Broncos.
Keep a pin in that as well. Now, Antonio Pierce, former Giant, shout out to that man. He's black. Keep a pin in that.
There is a window for Jim Harbaugh to get the Chargers into the playoffs and win a game there, and I think he can do it rapidly. I think he can take the Chargers from good to great. I really like the hire. I think that makes sense. It's a very good job. I like it as the open jobs go better than any other. Chargers had the best open job because they have the best quarterback. A lot of the other teams either have an unproven quarterback or they're going to be drafting one. And I would rather have a proven top 10 caliber quarterback in Justin Herbert, which I believe he is, who's also young, which means you got him for next 7 or 8 years in theory, without having to figure out whether you got a quarterback. Jim Harbaugh has won, turning Colin Kaepernick into a star for a short period of time to replace Alex Smith, if you remember that tenure of his with the 49ers. He wins 3 straight Big Ten titles. He beats Ohio State 3 straight years. He wins a national championship. He now rides off into the sunset. To the extent that some of you out there are convinced the NCAA is going to do something to Jim Harbaugh, I don't think that's true. I don't think they're going to do anything to Michigan. I told you that I believed Michigan would be able to play and that the NCAA wasn't going to shut him down. Somebody was going to have to beat him. Nobody beat him. Jim Harbaugh is a national champion. I don't believe that's going to be taken away. What should Michigan do now? Sharon Moore, right? This is an easy decision. The guy stepped in and won 6 games last year with Jim Harbaugh suspended. He has proven himself. All of the teams know him, given the players and the recruits, given the fact that you have the transfer portal window that opens when a coaching change occurs. I know Michigan's already starting class, which makes that more difficult to move. Same thing can be true elsewhere, but certainly for recruits that would be arriving later. I think you promote more from within. I don't know what kind of contract you need to give him. Maybe a couple of years. If the wheels really come off, then you can move on and go find somebody else. I don't think the wheels will completely come off. I think even with Jim Harbaugh, and I think this is one reason Harbaugh was going to leave, I think even with Jim Harbaugh, it's likely that we would have seen a decline overall in the level of excellence of Michigan. They peaked. They're losing their quarterback. They're losing their star running back. They're losing a lot of their offensive and defensive playmakers on both sides of the ball. Michigan was going to come back, I don't know, 9-3, 10-2 style, probably even with Jim Harbaugh. I think Ohio State clearly will be the favorite. I actually think Drew Aller and Penn State are going to move up. And then we don't really know what to expect with Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA also now getting integrated into the Big Ten mix. There are a lot of different moving parts there. I think it's going to be a challenge to see how all of that ends up breaking out. So that is ongoing. That is a story that is worth paying attention to. Maybe the last moving piece in a significant fashion for college football as we roll into the offseason and get ready for the second signing period. Now that Bill Belichick is signed, this to me is really strange. Sorry, now that Jim Harbaugh is signed, Bill Belichick's coaching career may be over. It doesn't seem like, we'll see what happens with the Falcons, where there have been reports that Bill Belichick has had multiple meetings, although they've called them interviews. To me, Bill Belichick is like Denzel Washington or Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, somebody that's been a star.
Okay, so you're likening Bill Belichick to Denzel Washington. Okay. All right. Not even gonna knock his comparison. Whatever. He's about to say some bullshit. I just want y'all to, that's why I really stopped it. He's about to say some bullshit. Based on what he just said about Harbaugh. And he actually praised the black coach who stepped in when Harbaugh had to be suspended. I want y'all to listen to how he's going to talk about Raheem Morris. Watch.
For 25 or 30 years, you don't need to audition in order to appear in your movie. You already know what they can do. What kind of interview process does Bill Belichick have? He just says, look, here's what I do. This is the last 25 years of my tape. The 6 Super Bowl rings, all of the success I've had in New England, the fact that I've rebuilt multiple teams, built around Brady.
Sir, y'all consider your franchise that you left consistently didn't want to pay Brady. You even convinced him to take multiple pay cuts. He finally got tired, said, I'm going to go to Tampa Bay. First year, he gets the Super Bowl. Belichick was blessed to have Tom Brady. He didn't cultivate Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a run-of-the-mill quarterback right now. But it's funny that he said that. It's real funny. Because you know they don't have any foresight. I was curious, right? So I said, what do you say on Jared Mayo? Now, he's a black coach that got hired in New England. I wanna see what he said. I want to see what he said. Why did this thing, this mouse, I hate this mouse that I'm using. I'm sorry, family. Now, this was his tweet yesterday. It said, if Bill Belichick were black, the fact that no NFL team would hire him would be the number one story in sports media and presented as evidence of the NFL systemic racism all day long on ESPN. But since he's an old white guy, no one is even paying attention. Y'all do realize Belichick's been in the cycle on sports media for the last 2 decades. Maybe I missed it. Maybe we all missed it. Like, we didn't watch ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and all these publications. We didn't see this. They literally had Belichick's mouth. They literally had Belichick in their mouth. Pause. Every NFL season. Even when they were doing trash, Belichick's name was brought up. And you guys are pissed off that the Atlanta Falcons said, we don't want a 72-year-old coach. We want to go with a younger dude that's 25 years his junior. We want to go there. He's been in the organization before. He knows how we do business. He's coached our team. He knows the division. But nah. Let's make it about race. But these are the same people that tell you it ain't about race. It should be about content and character. I'm going to keep telling y'all that when they say stupid things like this. They always want to use MLK. But then when it come up, boom, let's make it about race. It should be about merit. Okay. You want to talk about merit? I'm going to let him continue, and then we're going to show you Mr. Raheem Morris's merit. Back to the fair use.
I get it. I always have said quarterback is more important than head coach. I don't know anybody out there now who argues that the Patriot dynasty was based more on Bill Belichick than it was Tom Brady. I don't know anyone out there at all. But I do think it's intriguing that basically the entire NFL is saying, yeah, we're really not that interested in you, Bill Belichick. Panthers hire a coach who's never been a head coach. Titans hire.
Oh, hey, Clay Travis is telling us something that has never happened before. Someone who's never been a head coach got a head coaching job. This has never happened in the history of the National Football League. Offensive coordinator, never become a head coach. Defensive coordinator, never becomes a head coach. Running backs coach, never a coach, never a head coach. Wide receivers coach, never a coach. You're right. This has never happened. We're going to be pissed off that somebody that's never held a head coaching job is now going to get a head coaching job. Well, shit. Continue, Travis.
Or a head coach who's never been a head coach. Patriots hire a head coach who's never been a head coach. The Raiders hire a head coach who's never been a head coach. I mean, other than an interim, right? I know Antonio Pierce coached to finish the season, but I'm talking about somebody who has ever worked as a head coach. Meanwhile, you got Bill Belichick, who is
whoop the fucking D. How do you think you're supposed to progress in the league, sir, if you don't upgrade people that have worked in the organization? They've been on the sidelines for years. Every year a coach gets fired, What are they looking at them? They know the system. They created the system. Are they ready for that next step? It happens every year. Now you're gonna gaslight, move the goalpost, and tell us that they shouldn't do that because you have a 72-year-old white coach out there. Who we know, arguably, you put him on the Atlanta Falcons, he's going to be the face of the Falcons, not the quarterback, not the top receiver, not the top defensive player. You're going to... Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on one second. But again, family, they tell you it's not about race. It's not about race. It should be about merit.
The second winningest head coach in the history of the NFL.
Whoop-de-dee.
And nobody really seems interested, other than the Falcons, in even considering him for their job. So is Bill Belichick's coaching tenure over?
Yes.
It appears that might be the case, unless the Falcons decide that they want to take a chance with him. I actually thought the Cowboys could have made the best decision, but this is intriguing. Now, Seattle moved on from Pete Carroll. Doesn't seem like there's any interest in Pete Carroll either. So you've got two Super Bowl winning coaches basically forced out from the teams where they won Super Bowls, and no one seems interested.
Pete Carroll didn't get forced out. He moved into the front office. He didn't get forced out. He, like Belichick, got exposed. If what brought you to the dance is not working anymore, you look mortal. People figured out Seattle's defense. They figured out how to beat it. They know they have no offense. You beat that defense, the offense is not going to win you that game. They couldn't compete with San Francisco. Arizona got to get their act together, but they can compete in a couple of years. The Rams, who Raheem Morris was just on a couple years ago, won the Super Bowl. Seattle is in the bottom half of that division. And Pete Carroll showed no signs of showing that he's going to improve both sides of the ball. So they said, okay, your run is over. You gave us a Super Bowl. You gave us consistent years and productivity. It's time for you to move on. We got to go in a different direction. What's the problem? None of you assholes said anything when Romeo Cornell was getting... He should have been fired after every losing season he had, but they kept him in Cincinnati. They kept him in Cincinnati. It was never DEI then. Now, all of a sudden, when it's old white guys, now it's a problem. Hey, old white guys retire every day, B. But continue.
Interested at all in bringing either of these guys in. I think it is very intriguing to think about. Peacock, I told you.
All right, so that's what he said about Belichick. And then I just read you that tweet again about what he said about Raheem Morris. By the way, what if I told you he got cooked? What if I told you he got cooked on this, as he should have? Now, here's his tweet. Raheem Morris has gone 21-38 in his NFL coaching career and never taken a team to a playoff game in 4 seasons. Tampa Bay fired him after he went 4-12 in his 3rd year there. Atlanta just picked him over Belichick. We're not talking about Vince Lombardi here. Okay. Tabernacle. Here's Raheem Morris's Wikipedia page. Let's see what he's done. So here's what Travis was talking about. Before the 2002 season, Morris was hired by the Buccaneers to become the defensive quality control coach, where he helped them have the top-ranked defense and win the franchise's first ever Super Bowl, beating the Oakland Raiders 48-21 in Super Bowl 37. Sorry. In 2003, he became a defensive assistant. From 2004 to 2005, he was the assistant defensive backs coach. After 2005, he went to Kansas State to be their defensive coordinator. You're just going to keep this on the NFL. Tampa Bay, second stint. Before the 2007 season, Morris returned to the Buccaneers to be their defensive backs coach, replacing Greg Burns. After the team's pass defense fell to 19th in 2006, Morris helped the pass defense achieve the league's top ranking in 2007. Sounds like his resume looks pretty good so far. So he knows defenses. Okay. Head coach. In December 2008, it was announced that Morris would take over as defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers for the 2009 season after Monty Kiffin announced that he would be leaving the team to join his son Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. Just a month later, on January 16, 2009, head coach John Gruden was fired by the Buccaneers and Morris was named the team's head coach. Morris had also interviewed for head coach with the Denver Broncos before being hired by Tampa Bay. After starting the season 0-7, Morris earned his first victory as a head coach in Week 9 against the Green Bay Packers. On November 24, 2009, Morris took over defensive coordinator duties after relieving Jim Bates of his duties. He finished the first year as the head coach, leading the team to last in the NFC South with a 3-13 record. In his second season, the team finished 10-6, barely missing the playoffs. That's a hell of a jump. That 7-game turnaround was the best in franchise history. In 2010, Morris became the first coach since the 1970 NFL-AFL merger to start at least 10 rookies and finish with a winning record. But he shouldn't be judged on this, right? It's how long he's been a head coach. I hear you, June Day Night, but I'm also doing this show because I want to point out the hypocrisy, because these are the same assholes who were sitting there in 2016 saying they're not going to watch the NFL because Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed and the rest of them were taking knees. These are the same assholes who love to say that there shouldn't be a black national anthem played at the NFL, but then they're going to be the same ones talking about how many black players there are in the NFL. I thought y'all were boycotting the NFL like a lot of conservatives have been asking y'all. You should still be on an 8-year boycott. But we saw what it was. As soon as Kaepernick left, oh yeah, the big bad bully is gone. We can go back outside now with our tailgating and our jerseys and our face paint. Okay. Say less. During week 13 of the 2011 NFL season against Carolina Panthers, well, we're not going to read that. That's extra shit. Washington Redskins. On January 11, 2012, Morris was hired by the Washington Redskins as their defensive backs coach. Atlanta Falcons. On January 26, 2015, it was announced Morris was joining the Atlanta Falcons as assistant head coach, defensive backs. On January 25th, 2016, Morris was named the wide receivers coach and no longer the defensive backs coach. In the 2016 season, Morris and the Falcons reached Super Bowl 51, where they faced the New England Patriots on February 5th, 2017. In the Super Bowl, the Falcons fell in a 34-28 overtime defeat. So he might know a little bit about offense. On November 4th, 2019, Morris was reassigned as secondary coach. On December 27, 2019, Morris was promoted to defensive coordinator for the 2020 NFL season. On October 12, 2020, Morris was promoted to interim head coach following the firing of Dan Quinn after an 0-5 start to the season. The Falcons finished with a 4-7 record under Morris, but finished with a 4-12 overall record and fourth in the NFC South. Los Angeles Rams. On January 21st, 2021, Morris was hired by the Los Angeles Rams as defensive coordinator under head coach Sean McVay, replacing Brandon Staley, who left to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. On February 13, 2022, Morris won his second Super Bowl as the Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 56. So he got 2 rings. His defenses have been pretty good. He's revamped defenses. He knows a little bit about offense. Sounds like to me he might have the pedigree. But you're worried about his 3 years in Tampa Bay when they were not in the best shape to compete in that loaded division with New Orleans, Carolina, and and Tampa Bay. Sorry, I said Tampa Bay and Atlanta. He wasn't ready. That's okay. But y'all are fixated on the fact that he's never taken a team to the playoffs as a coach. I love how y'all forget that Belichick was shitty as a head coach when he first started. I love how y'all forget that. But okay, sure. So we'll go back to the tweet now. Now here's all high IQ talking about how awful he is and why they didn't hire a white coach. Because we know the only reason you would have been watching Atlanta Falcons games was to watch Belichick in a black hoodie with no sleeves. It's another terrible hiring decision by the Falcons. He's not the one to lead them to a Super Bowl. Well, damn, we have Super Bowl aspirations the first year. I mean, Jesus Christ. Let me tell y'all something. Now, I don't even watch the Falcons, but I do know one thing. They haven't had a quarterback all season. And your man just sat up there on film and said that the quarterback is more important than the head coach. Harbaugh took the easiest job. He's correct. The Chargers they just need a coach. Atlanta has no quarterback. Now they have a high draft pick, so hopefully they'll get a quarterback. And we'll see what that guy can do. Let's be honest, it's a DEI hire. And for the people that whine about it, the people you voted for created this world. What the fuck are you talking? Remember what I just told y'all about DEI is going to have him in the spin cycle? How is this a DEI hire? I need this explained to me. How is this a DEI hire? Y'all act like this man just came out of nowhere and he got the head coaching job. The man's been around the league since 2002. What the fuck? How is this a DEI hire? Wouldn't it be safe, family? Wouldn't it be safe to say, and maybe y'all can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but wouldn't they wouldn't Bill Belichick be a DEI hire to the Atlanta Falcons? Because he's considered a minority because he's old? Or am I being ageist? Me speculating, I think they didn't hire Belichick because Arthur Blank is a personality and Belichick's a personality. And we've already seen how that works. Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, anybody. Brother Torian Rain, hello. Oh, more people came in. Let me see. Miriam, hello. Back to basics. I don't think I said hi to you, but hello. Miss Nisi, hello. 007 Spidey, hello. Sean Tape, hello. Yes, they're whining about DEI again. They're whining about Didi. And yes, I forgot. Shit, I fucked up. Today is the anniversary of Kobe's death. I forgot to do that at the beginning. So, keep his family in your thoughts. But back to this. It's almost like Falcons intentionally insulted Belichick by hiring a former defensive coordinator to get revenge on the 28-3 debacle. Okay, it might be called a redemption story. So what? Why do you care? Y'all don't even watch the Falcons. But all right. Here we go. Arthur Blank is snake bit. All right. I get all that, but Morris is much younger and cheaper, more money available for on-field product. Okay. Have you not seen the complete effing debacle the Patriots have been since Brady left? You don't think Bill hasn't burned bridges? All right. It's based on optics, not merit. Here we go. His record proves a losing record as a head coach. No playoff wins and no playoff appearances as a head coach versus the most winningest Super Bowl coach. Oh, God, he came in right. Okay. Not merit. So what I just read was not merit. He rebuilt defenses. He was the wide receivers coach for the Atlanta team that went to the Super Bowl recently. That's optics. That's not merit. You're right. He went to LA for 1 year. And his first year there, rebuilt that defense with Aaron Donald, who is considered a top 5 defensive player in the league every year, and they win a chip. But that's optics, not merit. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. You gotta love them. These retards, I'm telling you, DEI be having these retards in a spin cycle. And I don't care that I call them retards because that's what they're acting like right now. They're retards. They don't even know. They don't even know what merit is. Clay Travis admitted it. And I know these idiots would never, because they did the same thing with Matt Walsh when he tried to explain what Chuck Kirk said. They don't even know what merit looks like. They wanted Belichick to just slide into that because he put 6 rings on the table and his record, and that should just be it. Then when let's just say he got the job, Tabernacle. Let's just say they gave Belichick the job his first season, because he's gonna have to deal with New Orleans, who's pretty good. They just missed the playoffs. Tampa Bay just waxed the Philadelphia Eagles before losing Detroit Lions. Nobody saw that coming. By the way, hey, Clay Travis, Todd Bowles' team, he runs that team. He waxed one of the best teams in the league in the playoffs. And Carolina has a young black quarterback. They just need a coach. Like you said, they need a coach to get them from good to great. But you didn't have a problem there because the coach allegedly is Hispanic. You don't have a problem with that. You got a problem with Atlanta hiring a black coach. Because you wanted the old 72-year-old white man to just slide into that job. So you can have an excuse to come down here to his first home game. You wanted to see how Atlanta was going to react if they were going to put a Belichick billboards all over the city. But then they don't want to tell you that they really secretly want to be the center of attention. Okay. Nah, Belichick isn't a long-term answer or a short-term fix, guy. This is not about skin color. It is common sense. Bare minimum, Morris gets better. Keep in mind, only Atlanta interviewed Bill. This is all you need to read about Morris. We hate him in LA. We want Staley back. Atlanta's going to be looking in 3 years again. Right. You hate him in LA, but he gave you a ring. I bet you loved him then. Interesting. The Falcons always Falcon. It's just disgusting. You know, it'd be funny, family, if Atlanta actually wins the title next year. That'd actually be hilarious. Typical ATL. Okay. Sure. Now I want him to win the title next year. But I brought up Matt Walsh for a reason. Because Matt Walsh decided to say something. Here we go. So he retweeted what Adam Schefter said. Falcons plan to hire Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris as their head coach per sources. Matt Walsh says Falcons are going to hire this guy who has a losing record as a head coach with 2 different teams instead of hiring Belichick, who has 6 Super Bowl rings, and yet the media will continue to insist that the league is biased against black head coaches. The narrative continues no matter what. You do realize this is the first time in their history they've had these many black coaches, right? Or maybe y'all missed that. But you're right, Matt. The media hasn't said anything about the coaches being biased, about the league being biased by hiring black coaches. Only y'all have done that. I played Stephen A. Smith at the beginning for a reason. As much as we don't like him over here, I actually have to give him his credit. He's the only one on TV that consistently talks about the Rooney Rule, where you have to interview black coaches. He's the only one that talks about it. Now you have, I think it's 7 or 8 black coaches now. So that's a quarter of the league and you're still pissed off. I don't get it. Y'all don't say shit when Mike Tomlin has losing seasons or he don't get to the Super Bowl. Y'all don't say shit. Y'all give that man all the credit in the world. We know why. Because he's on a vaunted franchise. That's why. If he was playing with any other franchise, y'all would have been demanding his job for years. He should have been fired long ago. Back to basics said a black coach that has 2 rings and built up team. Sounds like race to me over his track record. They swear they know about merit. You're looking merit dead in your face and you still say, oh, he's black. That's the only reason why he got the job. Cool. Then you know what? You know how you make your argument? Matt Walsh and Clay Travis, they take the worst wide receiver that's black on their team and they make them the coach. Then you could probably argue that that's a DEI hire. So I want y'all to understand what they're doing. Now your black accomplishments. Remember how we love to say that we have to work 2 to 4 times harder? This is what they want. They want this on a mass scale. It wasn't enough that Claudine Gay was a professor and much of my knowledge, her students didn't complain about her teaching style. They make her president, and it was a problem because she allowed free speech on campus. She didn't want to be the one to police people not to say what they wanted to say. She didn't want to do that. They didn't like that. Now we're over here to football, where it is a merit-based sport. But it's a problem. Hey, Matt Walsh, Clay Travis, why didn't y'all say anything about Doc Rivers getting hired in Milwaukee? Why didn't you say anything about that? Or is it because you replaced one black coach with another? But he ain't got no rings. He got one. I'm sorry. He's got one. He's got one. And he keeps getting job after job. Why is he not a DEI hire? Why don't y'all say something about that? Well, we know why. But let's see what they said about old Matt. Here we go. Black or white, it's amazing how these mediocre coaches who have never shown any ability to consistently lead teams to the playoffs still manage to hang around for decades and continue getting jobs. Oh shit, before I do this, I forgot. Somebody owned Clay Travis. I wonder if it's still in here. Somebody owned him. Where is it? Shit. Somebody put up a tweet of his hypocrisy. Damn it. Let me see. Damn, I forgot to show y'all this. This was hilarious. Where is it? It might have been in this thread. Yes, it was in here. Tabernacle. So remember I read this tweet to y'all about him saying because Belichick's an old white man, nobody was going to hire him. Somebody found a tweet of his back in 2022. Look what Clay said. Remember when we all spent a decade or more debating who mattered more to the Patriots dynasty, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Boy, that was really a dumb debate. It was Brady and wasn't even close. So you admitted that Belichick is mediocre without a top tier quarterback. But anyway, we go back to this. So somebody said, you're shocked by this? Have you seen Congress? What does that mean? You said, why would they not say anything about rivers coming to my city? It's not that difficult. I'm not attacking you, Spidey, but the answer is not that difficult. The reason they didn't say anything is because Doc Rivers is a name. If Pittsburgh would have fired Mike Tomlin yesterday, the Falcons would have hired him yesterday. They wouldn't have said a word. See, white mediocre coaches can get jobs all over the place. Nobody's going to say anything. When it comes to black coaches, they focus on your name first. Clay Travis tried to reverse it and it didn't work. People picked up on that. That's why he got so much shit for what he said. I bet a lot of y'all didn't think of it like that. Clay Travis tried to belittle what Raheem Morris did, even though his accomplishments were on the table because his name was associated with losing as a head coach. Yet when you take that out, as we said before, he rebuilt defenses. He was the wide receivers coach for the Atlanta team that went to the Super Bowl. He was just not given his own plate to start with. He became a head coach after somebody else got fired. Yeah, they're going to say, oh, he had 2 years to install his system. His teams were not great. He had to sit back and learn. Nothing wrong with learning. We all learn more when we lose. When we fail, that's where you get the bulk of your lessons. But again, when it comes to us, your name goes a long way. They try to play that with white folk. No, we see mediocre white coaches get jobs and they don't do shit. They out of there in 2-3 years. They don't say nothing. They start blaming the goddamn front office. Ever notice that? When the white coach doesn't perform, they blame the front office. Every white coach that Jerry Jones has brought in, who gets the bulk of the blame? Jerry Jones, because he's the GM, he's the owner. He gets the bulk of the blame. Mike Tomlin has not produced since they won that Super Bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He has not produced. They're never going to go after the Hines family that owns that team. They put it on him. Green Bay, it's never the organization. It's the coach. But when the black coach fucks up, it's on him. Now, when Doc Rivers and the Bucks get knocked out in the second round, are they going to blame the organization or are they going to blame Doc Rivers? There you go. Thank you, Nick Black. Wade Phillips. Oh, by the way, black coach. Hey, Clay, black coach in Houston with a black quarterback. They won a playoff game. How about that? And you didn't know who the hell he was. How about that? Here we go. Another mediocre white man. Amazing. Have you seen the elected government officials? Hey, dumbasses, who elected them? You love to see it. They never want to take responsibility for their decisions. Never. I think hiring a younger new guy with what they believe is potential is less of a gamble than hiring an old dude who's sucked recently. Bill has probably earned another chance, but I wouldn't blame teams for thinking his time has come. Nobody's going to pick him up. He's going to end up on CBS or Fox as a commentator if he wants it. Dennis Allen for the Saints. Horrible head coaching record. Okay. Yet people like Jamel Hill accuse a black GM of racism for hiring a white coach and now is coach of the year. Yet it's Charlie Kirk getting criticized and not her. Why are you bringing her into this? And it took him 3 years, by the way, to get coach of the year. Y'all act like he got it in his first year. Dan Campbell failed where he went. And now he's in the NFC Championship game. See what I mean when I said earlier it takes time? Yeah. But, when you're black, they think we're the exceptional Negro. We're supposed to just lead our team the first year to the championship. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. See? They're going to spin themselves into it. Bill Belichick was mediocre to bad before Tom Brady and after Tom Brady. He has a .356 winning percentage as an NFL head coach. That will get you 6 wins and 11 lost seasons. Falcon fans must be thrilled. Oh, boy. And it just goes on and on and on. It just goes on and on and on. It's Major. Hello. Hey, kid, it takes a whole team of whites to equal the strength of one black person, and they know it. This right, but this is why I said I hope he wins the championship this year. Because then what are they going to say? Oh, I know what they're going to say. They drafted the right quarterback. Arthur Blank finally got it right. They ain't going to give this man no credit. Let's see what these post engagements look like. St. Johnson said, aren't y'all boycotting the NFL if you lost track of all your protests? 2, notice content and characters in question once just race. Every one of these liars are trash. Well, these are your fake conservatives. Conservatives. These is them. Patriots hired Belichick with a head coaching record of 33-46. He had one winning season with the Browns during that time. He would have never got a chance with the Patriots based on merit. Bill Belichick was a diversity hire. Oop. These woke right dipshits give white people a bad name. Well, hey, let's focus on your tweet real fast. Hey, LaRusso Thomas, why don't you white people call out your dumbass white people? It's not that hard. We call out black folk all the time. They y'all want to run around and say we don't have no unity. That's perfect unity. You call out the people that are impeding your movement. Y'all don't want to call out your white folk unless they're liberals or conservatives. You need to call out everybody. Y'all don't want to never call out Matt Walsh because y'all are too pussy to do it. Because you think his fanatics are gonna come and inundate your page. So what? Have some nuts. You know how white people act. They only get tough when they see one of them take the fall. Then they get tough. You think I'm kidding? Okay, January 6th. I know they're gonna put the thing on the bottom, but I don't care at this point. Yeah. None of them were talking about, oh, this is wrong, and none of this. As soon as they saw people climbing that facade, oh, they got tough talking online now, didn't they? That shit was meek before they started seeing those first reports of people getting into the building. Then it was meek. Then they were tough. They were acting like Kratos. Stop worrying about black folks. We didn't give you DEI. White folk gave you DEI. Go call out your cousins. Put their faces up like y'all love to put black faces up when we do some crime. Put their faces up and say, listen, we not fucking with you no more. We got to start purging the white race. How about doing that? Impress us. Take accountability for the idiots that y'all like to promote and like to say, hey, this is our cat. We like what they say. You idiots love propping up Matt Walsh's and the Chuck Kirks and these Clay Travis idiots. And then when they get a little blowback, now y'all want to act like victims. Oh, they're screwing us out of opportunities. Motherfucker, you had opportunities for about 40 years. And now y'all are getting exposed because people, you don't give them credit for being as smart or smarter than you. So you come out with these asinine takes and then like, we got access to the same stats you do. We got access to the same information you do. And your words don't hit like they used to hit because you had a dumb electorate following you around. Now you're more visible. Yeah, we're going to push back on you. Now you don't like it. Excuse me. This is why y'all are scared of reparations. Because it's going to change the system. You're going to have to compete now. I use this example all the time. As y'all get y'all reparations, y'all start going into these industries and be like, listen, that guy over there said I could do it for $100 on the copy. I could do it for $50 with better quality. Where do you think the consumer is going to go? Why is it us? Let's play the game, family. Why is it us that have to keep calling out the bullshit they do? Then they think they're some brand new, like, oh yeah, well, look at all this crime in Chicago. That's wonderful. What about the crime in your neighborhood? What about the crimes in suburbia that y'all don't like to call out? This is your cat right here. This guy. Why do you think now they're calling you the woke right? You're acting just like them fools on the left. Now you want to act like perpetual victims when you sat around for years telling people that you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Follow what MLK did. It's interesting when it gets turned on you, right? Interesting. Ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Nick Black said the right hires nothing but losers who have a grudge against the world because they were told they were great because they were white, but were met with reality. Clay Travis, nobody took Outkick seriously. If they did, you would still be in business. You publicly went in on one of your former employees to the point y'all had to go to litigation to separate. Matt Walsh, you're only relevant because of the Daily Wire. If they didn't hire you, you would just be another racist just talking shit on Twitter. Charlie Kirk has already been exposed as a hypocrite. Damn, January's been giving us so many presents, hasn't it, family? Everybody's getting a wake-up call right now. You know why he didn't mention this, sir? Because he doesn't know ball. That's why. It's okay. We get it. Again, you really think Arthur Blank is going to sit up there and let Belichick be a bigger personality than him? Arthur Blank basically is a god in Atlanta. He's not gonna supplant himself for Bill Belichick. He wants a winning product on the field. He got a nice, beautiful stadium he's still paying for. He got to get some real revenue in there, and real revenue equals winning records, playoff appearances, hopefully a Super Bowl, hopefully a title. You don't think Arthur Blank saw what the Braves did a few years ago? He want that for his team. This city is starving to see the Falcons win a title, which would only help to boost the economy. But, you know, they never think that far ahead. It's just, he's white. You need to hire a white coach. He's got rings. Okay, the black coach got rings too, but he's failed as a head coach. Every head coach fails. The hell? They never get it. They never get it. So I'm just going to assume that this whole DEI thing is just going to continue all the way until the election, and then they're going to disappear into something else. No, I tell a lie. You know when it's going to end? When them Asians come outside and say that they didn't get into their preferred schools again. That's really when it's going to end. Because that's going to be the new Griff. But I think we'll end the show there. So I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, try to be better next time. Join me tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we're actually going to talk about Taylor Swift. I know. Listen, y'all. I hear y'all. Y'all on that unsubscribe button. I get it. Hang on.
Hey! Hey!
Hang on. There's a reason why I'm doing this. There's a reason why I'm doing this. We're gonna talk about Taylor Swift and artificial intelligence. Because if I think where it's gonna go, social media is gonna change forever. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. Because if I didn't do that aspect of it, it would have just been an upload. But I need y'all to follow me and have this engagement and this talk about artificial intelligence, because I'm not going to spoil it, but what's going down right now, it could change social media forever. That's all I'm going to say. Just join me tomorrow morning. I think we're going to do it about 9:30. But there's that. I ain't going to say nothing else. I know some of y'all are wishing, because I said her name on here. I know y'all wishing for this. Don't listen. I'm still on code. I'm still on code. But I know. Don't send me this. I know one of y'all thought about it. Don't do that. just hear me out tomorrow. All right. I'm gonna get up out of here. But before we go, we got to make y'all laugh. Before we go, we got to make y'all laugh. Because according to him, we had a train in the thumbnail. So, we got to do it for the family.
To join this MAGA train, baby. Choo choo! Choo!
Yeah. Just got to make sure we do that. And this is what, Matt and Chuck and Clay really want.
I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as black people have to deal with.
Before we go, family, I just realized I forgot to tell y'all this as well. Clay Trav is caping for Bill Belichick and Matt Walsh caping for Bill Belichick. Do y'all understand that they want this old man to keep working? Do y'all understand this? The man is 72 years old. This man has been a head coach since 2001. 2000, right? 2001. One of them years. That's how long he's been in New England. The man didn't pass retirement age. The man got millions in the bank. They still want this man to work. We as the younger generation don't want to see our parents, our grandparents still working. We want them to enjoy their life and what they've cultivated. These fools want this man to keep working. It's almost like they want this man to transition on the field. Wait, B Zilla's in the building? Where he at? I ain't seen him. Don't tell me they blocked B Zilla. This fucking StreamYard's bot. He better not block my man. They blocked my man? No, he didn't. Huh. All right, let me go figure this out. All right, let me get up out of here. All right, y'all. Take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.